Hello, friends from the comic world. My name is Hector,
And my name is G.
and we're here to talk to you about the new collected editions and graphic novels coming out in July 2025. G and I work for Penguin Random House, so titles that we talk about in these videos are from the publishers that we represent into those markets, into markets around the world. And we're also in social media. You can find us obviously on YouTube, but also on Instagram, on X, on Facebook. You can find us at PRH International Comics, but we'll leave some links in the description for you for easy access. The way that this video works, in case you haven't watched these before, G and I we pick a few titles from the month that we're going to talk about, and we talk about them a little bit in length, and then we after that we'll show you some spotlight some titles that we definitely think you should not miss during this month. But then after that, we'll leave you with the rest of the list. You'll be able to see all of the titles that are coming in July from Penguin House. So without further ado, let's get started. I think it starts with me, probably, maybe. There it is. Simplicity, a novel, or I should say a graphic novel, really, by Maddie Lubchansky. If you heard that name before, it's because also from Pantheon. This is from Pantheon. She did Boys Weekend, and I think we talked about Boys Weekend, I think, on this channel before. So this is a brand new graphic novel. It is in a dystopian world, 2081, and it follows this scholar Lucius Pasternak, who describes him as a fastidiously organized trans man. Uh, but he's living in New York City around New York City Administrative and Security Territory, which is was founded after the formal dissolution of the United States 40 years before. This is 2081 and 2041. The United States was dissolved. But then he's offered a job by a billionaire real estate developer to complete an anthropological survey of the people of simplicity, which is this community called a spiritual association of peers, sort of a cult that is living in the Catskill Hills, in the up in the mountains, and it's a wooded community, um, small community. They have strange rituals, but they're kind of charming. And then he is investigating. While he's investigating, members of the community begin to disappear, and the people in the community of simplicity believe that they're being called by lamentation, um, and is responsible for the disappearances. Something called the lamentation, quote unquote. Um, so it they are on the hunt. Lucius and somebody meets Amity. They are on the hunt for a creature in this danger zone, and of so that there's investigation, there's horror, obviously, and this story, like Boys Weekend, is sort of a dystopian story full of full of horror and sci-fi, but at the same time, it blends in a lot of politics and a lot of um, and also like gender identity is involved. Maddie is a trans woman, so she puts that into her stories too. So it is already getting a lot of great reviews from early readers, and of course because of all the accolades that the previous one received, where there's a big expectation for this one. I love that, we get these from Pantheon. Pantheon does an amazing job of getting these very fun and action-packed stories that are also full with a lot of very heavy topics, which is great. So can't wait to read this one for sure. And there you go. That's coming up. Simplicity.
Next up is my pick. This is from Wattpad Webtoon Studios. This is Daybreak Volume 1. So this is a very, like, if you're a fan of Heartstopper and Bloom, this is like a cozy romance. We have Marcus, who has a crush on Cog, and Cog is really unprepared for that, and the hijinks that follows. But hopefully their efforts to grow closer together can brighten their day. And so it's set in senior year, and we have Marcus and Cog, two students from two different friend groups. They just start hanging out, and it's, you have moments of Marcus making lunch for Cog, and then Cog walking Marcus home, these cute moments between these two. And they eventually, with their exposure and being together a lot, they see each other in a different light. And so Marcus is like this very wholesome sweetheart. We have Cog, who is like very easily overwhelmed, and we don't really know how long it will take for them. Well, like if you haven't read it, you won't know how long it will take for them to confess each other, and their confess their crush on each other. But it really isn't like that's part of it, but it's more about seeing these two characters who don't mind taking their time, which is really nice to see in a comic. So this volume collects episodes 1 to 52 of the webtoon, and it has like 90 million views and reads on the platform. So it comes with a very dedicated following. So yes, very cute art as well.
Did you say the name of the creator?
What's up?
I just wanted to hear you say "moo" on a video. Okay.
Boo.
All right. And next up, Star Wars Legends: The Rebellion Omnibus Volume 3, Hugh Fleming. This is the Luke cover, obviously Luke Skywalker on there. And then if you go to the next slide, you're gonna see there's a direct market cover with Princess Leia on it. And so yeah, I love Star Wars. That's no secret. I also love the legend stories, and one of the things that you gotta love about Star Wars is how much more content you have, because you have the regular sort of canon that we've been following from the movies, and then we have all these legend stories that came out um, in between, in a time where we didn't have new movies, and even though they're not, the when the new movies came out, they sort of said, "Oh no, those are legends. They're alternate stories. They're really a lot of fun, and I love them, and I collected a lot of them." And this omnibus series has been collecting some of my favorite stories. This one in particular takes the stories between Return of the sorry, before between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. It actually includes those adaptations. Sort of, you have those and a bunch of stories that came out uh, in comic form during that time, oh, the stories that take place during that time. There's a few that are big ones. There's a lot. I'm not going to read everything that is collected in here, but it includes Star Wars Shadows of the Empire and Shadows of the Empire mini comic. It includes Star Wars Tales from Mos Eisley, which is an amazing story if you haven't read it. It includes, like I said, the both Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, but some other stories that kind of complete those stories even more, those arcs. And then it includes Seri Aragona's Stumps Star Wars, which is also very cool to have included in here. Um, Not much more to say about this. This for fans of Star Wars. I think this is a must-have. I love the two covers. It almost makes me want to get both of them because then you have Luke and you have Leia next to each other. Even though they don't connect, they're very cool looking next to each other. So there you go. And I did mention, but there's tons and tons of creators in it. I mean, there's too many to mention. So there you go.
All right, and then we have Fence Challengers by CS Picot. So I'm such a fan of Fence when it first came out. It's been a while. I remember being so impatient for more to come out and being sad. I have to definitely reread this. So I'm very happy that we have Fence Challengers coming out. So
Yeah.
it is a very beloved sports romance, and I thought I wasn't into sports, like manga or comics, and that this has changed things for me when I first read it.
Yeah.
And obviously, I can't get enough of sports comics and manga. We have artist Johanna the Mad on this, and we have Kings Row, who is a fencing team who are heading to, well, their fencing team is heading to the state championships as underdog champions. And so they have to contend with the best of the best in fencing, including potentially facing Xchan, their rival team. And so before they can get there, though, they'll have to go through some other top teams as well, including some old rivals. And yeah, this is it collects Fence Challengers Long Shot and Fence Challengers Sweet 16 collected in this trade paperback.
Very cool. And we continue another classic, Tomb Raider Colossal Collection, Volume 1. I love that we're getting a colossal collection of these comics. Another one that I fortunate enough to collect when they came out in single issues from Top Cow in the early 2000s, like 2000, 2001, around there. And obviously, if you don't know, this is Tomb Raider. I mean, Lara Croft. Sorry, this is Lara Croft. Lara Croft is one of the biggest video game characters of all time, and one of the biggest, if still is one of the biggest video game series of all times. It was one that not only was so cool to play because it was one of the games where you actually saw like you were playing first person with this like figure of a character and not a tiny little, you know, figurine. I don't know what to call them. But also the story of it, it was one of the first ones to really go deep into the story, in this case, with a British archaeologist, daughter of a very famous archaeologist, and she goes around the world with her dual guns, very short shorts, just like very, very cool hair, just kicking butt, and going into finding treasure, archaeological treasure all over the world. Um, and it's very, like I said, very cool. This one collects issues number 1 to 24 and 26 to 34, like I said, of the Top Cow Tomb Raider series, from actually 1999. I thought it was 2000. 99 to 2003. It includes creators like Don Jurgens, Adam Hughes, Michael Turner, Andy Park, Mark Silvestri, David Finch, and many, many more. I and also great news. This is coming obviously in July, because this is the video that we're talking about, but also in November we're gonna get volume 2 of this colossal collection. So you don't have to wait long to get the second volume. Again, very very cool. If even if you're not a fan of Tomb Raider, I highly recommend checking it out. Uh, it I had recently, I don't know, not so long ago, I decided to go back and read some of the single issues that I had collected, and it holds up really well. The story and the illustrations, obviously, and such a great 90s, early 2000 title. So I love that we're doing big collections like this. There you go.
All right, and switching gears
Yep.
considerably here, we have Passing for Human. This is a graphic memoir by Liana Fink. And Liana Fink goes in search of the thing she has lost in this comic, which is her shadow. As she calls her shadow, strangeness that has defined her since birth. A part of her that has always made her feel as though that she's living in exile from the world. So Passing for Human is Fink's quest of self-understanding, self-acceptance, and along the way she seeks to answer some eternal questions like what makes us whole, what parts of ourselves do we hide, ignore, chase away because they're embarrassing or inconvenient or just plain weird, and at what costs. So this memoir, what Finnick calls as this neurological coming of age story, one which human connection proved elusive, and she explains how her most enduring relationships throughout childhood were like essentially just plants and rocks and imaginary friends. So you could think of this as part like a magical odyssey. It's a part feminist creation myth, and it's basically this moving meditation on what it means to be an artist, what it means to be a woman grappling with the desires to pass for human, which is the namesake of this comic. And yeah, this is again coming out of Random House Group and trade
Very
paperback.
cool. Very cool. And now we're gonna start showing you, spotlighting some titles that you definitely should not miss this month of July. And I'm gonna put my glasses on, and we're gonna start with 10,000 Ink Stains, a memoir by Jeff Lemire. Check out online; you'll be able to find some of the interiors that goes through basically his whole career, and it's sort of chapter after chapter. You're gonna see all the titles from this amazing writer illustrator. And then Agent Venom Omnibus by Rick Remender. And then we also have a direct market cover there. And then we have Alien Black, White, and Blood, Colin Kelly and others. And Amazing Spider Man, The Eight Deaths of Spider Man by Joe Kelly. And this was, yeah, a run that we had last year, an event that we had now collected.
All right, continuing on, we have Batman and Robin Volume 1, Memento, Philip Kennedy Johnson on writing, Tom Taylor's Batman Detective Comics Volume 1. We have James Tynion the fourth, this collection, including we have Michael Avon Oeming, but this is a Blue Book Library edition, Volume 1. We have the Carlisle School for Kings. This is a script by Nelson Greaves, but has various creators, as you see here. And then Catwoman Volume 1, who is Selena Kyle, Torun Gronbeck as one of the creators on this title.
Yes. And we continue with Chibi Usagi, Attack of the Hibi Chibis. Expanded edition, obviously, by Stan Sakai, and then also Julie Sakai, and colors by Emi Fuji. Then we have from the DC Finest collection, we have Science Fiction, The Gorilla World by various artists. And we continue with DC Horror Presents Creature Commandos, David Dasmalkian, and then we have DC's Omnibus by various artists. And one that I almost picked this month because I definitely want
It's
to
really
get
cool. I want to get
the
this too.
yeah, the EC Archives, The Complete Moon Girl, written by Gardner Fox, Dick Cross, Grant Gisman, illustrated by Sheldon Moldoff and Johnny Craig. Yes.
Oh, I want to say I love how the Chibi Usagi, even the
Yeah.
signature is like do you see that? That like Chibi rabbit? I love it.
Oh yeah.
They really went for the chibi look. I
Yeah,
like
it's
it.
like complete
It's
TV.
cute.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. We have the Fantastic Four Omnibus. This is the new reprinting of this is the Alex Ross cover, Stanley, of course. And then we have the Jack Kirby cover. We have Flex Metallo Man of Muscle Mystery Deluxe. This is the 2025 edition by Grant Morrison. And then we have coming out of Inklore, actually, this is the like anthology series. This is the Flight Volume 2. Highly recommend volume 1 as well.
Yeah.
And there's going to be more volumes after this. And of course, the very acclaimed, people have been talking about this everywhere because of the concept here, Godzilla's Monster Piece Theater by Tom Scioli. Really cool. And yeah,
Yes.
can't wait for the trade to come out.
And we continue with Harley Quinn Volume 1, Destructive Comics instead of Detective. Get it? Elliot Carlin. And then Volume 2 of Hello Darkness, Garth Ennis, and many, many other creators involved in this, an anthology of stories from Boom. Then we have King of Spies Library Edition, obviously by Mark Millar, illustrated by Matteo Scalera and Oscar Gil, Durham. And then we have Lumine, Volume 3 by Emma Krogel, and Madman Omnibus, another really cool one, Volume 1, written and illustrated by Michael Alfred. Alred.
All right. So, what's really nice is Marvel is doing these archive editions, which is really
Mhm.
cool. So you should definitely check it out. This is, I should have, the first two I could say, is the direct market covers, and then we have the original first issue cover, um, uh, right there as well. I should have mentioned this is, well, it's obvious, the Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah. So it is really cool. Highly recommend checking it out. It's just a really awesome edition that Marvel's doing. Then we have Marvel Zombies Black, White, and Blood. This is Garth Ennis. And then we have the Epic Collection for Micronauts, the original Marvel years. They came from Inner Space, Bill Mantlo.
And then we continue with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Pink Rangers Deluxe Edition by Amy Jo Johnson. And then next to that, we have Mystery of Love by Ivan Alagbe, translated from French by Donald Nicholson Smith. And then Muted Volume 1, a webtoon by Miranda Munt. And I know this one is coming out in hardcover and trade at the same time. And My Year as Emma, written by Amena, oh my God, Kenshchin Kamo, sorry, and illustrated by Julia Giacominio. Giacomino.
I
I
wish I
should
could
have
help
read
you, but I cannot
I
help
should have
you.
read these names beforehand. And lettered by, oh my God, Frank, and lettered by Frank C. And then we have Mystique Most Wanted, Declan Shelby. Shelby.
All right, and then we have Namor, Left King of Atlantis, Jason Aaron, Neil Adams, DC Classics Artist Edition. We have the cover A, which is the Batman version, and then we have the cover B, which is the Green Lantern version. And I need to pick this up because
Yeah,
I've been behind on the hardcovers and picking them up, but I could just get the omnibus. This is the
yeah.
Nightwing, Tom Taylor, Bruno Redondo Omnibus, Volume 1. We have the Psylocke Volume 1, Alyssa Wong, Guardian trade coming out.
And we continue with Raven Boys, the graphic novel adaptation of the very popular novel. Also going to be available both in hardcover and paperback same time. Mike by Maggie Stiefvater and Stephanie R. Williams doing the script, and illustrated by Sas Milich. And then we have Renegade Royale, written by Ben Kahn and Rachel Silverstein, with art by Sam Beck and letters by Jim Campbell. Then we have Shade, The Changing Man by Peter Milligan and Chris Bacalo Omnibus Volume 1. Continue with Spectacular Spider-Man by Demetrius and Buscemi Omnibus. Then we have a Sal Buscemi Green Goblin cover, and we have a direct market only Sal Buscemi uh, Rhino cover.
We have Spider Society, Enter the Spider-Verse, Alex Segura, the Star Wars Modern Era Epic Collection, Yoda's Secret War, Jason Aaron, amongst other creators. We have Star Wars Ewoks with Steve Orlando on writing. And then the New 52 Omnibus for Supergirl, Volume 1, Mike Johnson. And we have the Superman by Philip Kennedy Johnson Omnibus, Volume 1. I love I love the the love that we're getting. This is Michael Conrad.
Yes. And then from the DC Compact series, we are getting Superman Batman DC Compact Comics Edition, Jeff Loeb. Then we have Superman's Good Guy Gang, and Rob Jutsu, and conveniently has Hawkgirl and Guy Gardner on the cover, which are going to be featured in the film coming in July. And then I know this one that you really like, G. You mentioned
Yeah, and we're
before.
finally getting a deluxe edition hardcover, which is
Yeah. So
only
Superman
has come
Pals,
back in trade
Jimmy Olsen, Who Killed Jimmy Olsen, the deluxe edition, Matt Fraction. So yeah, and just in time again, also for the film.
for the
And
film.
then
Yeah.
yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We have Mutant Nation Volume One. I really love this series, and it has uh, backup story each issue. So it's going to feature both Tom Waltz, Eric Berman, Vincenzo Federici, Matthias Santaluco. That's why I have so many creators because you get two stories here. And then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin 2, Re-Evolution, obviously continuation of the very big TMNT Last Ronin, Eastman, Kevin Eastman, and Tom Waltz.
All right, we have Terminal Exposure, Michael McMillan from New York Review Books. We have from Dark Horse the Welcome to Maynard, which if you don't remember, I was picking a lot of their cover picks because it was really cool.
Yeah.
And What If Galactus? We have Wolverine Goes to Hell Omnibus, Arthur Adams cover. We have the DM only cover here. Then there's the Wolverine Goes to Hell Omnibus. This is the Jay Lee cover. Yeah, and both of these obviously new printing.
Then to finish it up, we have X Factor by Peter David Omnibus Volume 1, and you have a Joe Quesada cover, which is a direct market only, and then you have a Larry Stroman cover. And then we continue with X-Men Hellfire Gallus by Jerry Dugan. And I need to go more into this. Is it going to collect several Hellfire Gallus? I imagine I need to investigate more this title. Anyways, and then finally on the slide you'll see Zombie Tales Complete Collection by Mark Way.
Mhm. And that should
And
be it.
sorry, that's it. Yes, it's me. Sorry. Thank you so much for watching to up to this point, but continue and you'll be able to see all the other titles, the rest of the titles that are going to be coming out in July for collected editions and graphic novels. Like I mentioned before, you can follow us on YouTube, obviously, but also Instagram, on X, on Facebook at PRH International Comics, and come back and watch more videos. We have another one where we talk about manga. We also have weekly ones where we go over our picks for FOC titles each week. So that's it. Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. I will
Uh,